In Climate Watch, climate change may be contributing to the extreme weather expected across much of the U.S. this holiday season. Over the next few days, a powerful jet stream is expected to bring severe thunderstorms to the south. It has created what's known as an atmospheric river. It's also bringing heavy rain and snow to the northwest. There's already been severe flooding in Washington. In the state's mountains, plow crews are working to clear heavy snow that fell overnight. CBS News contributing meteorologist Jeff Berardelli joins me now. Hi, Jeff. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is an atmospheric river and what causes it?
So you were saying you hadn't heard of an atmospheric river. So that is a jet stream, basically. It's a tropical jet stream. It's a moist jet stream. And it's usually very long. And they're very common in the Pacific Ocean. They generally start, sometimes you might hear them called the Pineapple Express. You might have heard that before because it was a famous movie named The Pineapple, right. So generally they'll start around Hawaii, transport tropical moisture north, and then just slam right into the west coast. Very strong winds, lots of moisture. In fact, about 25 times the amount of moisture is carried in that than the Mississippi River, just to give you an idea of how much moisture is carried. This particular one is called, there's actually a scale for that. It's just like the Saffir-Simpson scale. It was created by Scripps Institute, and it goes from a Category 1 to a Category 5. This one is going to be a Category 4. And as a result, we're going to see tremendous rain falling. Anywhere from 3 to 6 inches has already fallen. And we're likely to see some places pick up another 3 to 6 inches of rain.
And can anything about this particular one be linked to climate change?
Yeah, so, as we warm the atmosphere, as we warm the oceans, we're juicing up these atmospheric rivers. It's almost like an atmospheric river on steroids.
Right.
So, these are natural phenomena. In fact, at any one time around the Earth, there could be an average of about a dozen ongoing. So they're very common. They just kind of took on this name recently, but they've always been around. They're nothing new. But just like most other weather, climate change tends to spike it. It adds extra energy because of the extra moisture content. So NASA did a study last year. What they found is that they're going to be wider in the future. They're likely to be longer in the future. They'll last longer in the future. And extreme atmospheric river conditions will probably be about 50% more prevalent in the future if we continue to warm the way we're warming.
Right. And so this particular atmospheric river is going to do what to which areas of the U.S.?
So it's already ongoing. Washington's been getting slammed all day with extraordinarily heavy rain and flooding conditions. The mountains, and it's not a particularly cold system, but once you get a couple thousand feet, a few thousand feet up into the atmosphere, it turns to snow. So the mountains will see up to 4 to 6 feet of snow. Avalanche potential is there. Eventually, as we head into especially Sunday and Monday, it'll creep south towards San Francisco and eventually Los Angeles. But the brunt of this is Oregon and Washington. And I do think that a few isolated places will pick up almost a foot of rain. That's a lot of rain. So, by the way, about 95% of the damages from flooding in the Pacific Northwest and California are caused by atmospheric rivers. So there's a financial impact. And across the American West, it's about $1 billion a year of damage due to atmospheric rivers. So if you make them stronger, there is more damage that goes along with them.
So does this have anything to do with the unseasonably warm Christmas we're expected to have? Is this connected in any way?
It is, because we have a really active Pacific jet stream. And when you have a strong Pacific jet stream, it floods all the United States with mild air. It deflects Arctic air back into Canada. And so the whole United States ends up mild. So we have a couple of unusual things going. First of all, in the southeast United States, of the deep south, we have what is not a subtropical storm, but it's mimicking a kind of pseudo-subtropical storm. It won't have a name, but it's bringing up moisture from the Caribbean, and it's just kind of sitting and spinning for days across the Gulf. So starting tomorrow, and especially Sunday, big-time rains in Florida, in New Orleans, in Mobile. Generally speaking, 2 to 4, some places getting 6, 7, 8 inches of rain. Even South Carolina will share in some of that rain. Could be severe weather in Florida, I think, Sunday. And maybe even some isolated tornadoes. This is a big storm very far south.
So a very wet weekend for most of the South there.
For the South, mostly, yes. It's Saturday into Sunday. You can see right there's Saturday. But here's the thing. As we head through most of the week, especially Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, it is going to be so quiet you can hear a pin drop.
Really?
With the exception of the west, where in the mountains there'll be some snow. For the skiers, they'll probably like that. The West Coast will get a modest storm, but nothing that big. So for travelers, it's going to turn out to be a pretty good week. Much different from Thanksgiving
week. No snow, no rain, no terrible temperatures one way or the other.
It's just warmer than normal across most of the country. A little bit of snow out in the west, No really big storms. I mean, the complete polar opposite from what we had Thanksgiving week, where it was just a nightmare for travelers. So
we just have to get through the next few days of wet weather first.
Yeah, it's the wet weather in the southeast. It's the storm in the west. But everybody else is pretty quiet.
All right, Jeff Berardelli, thank you so much.
You're welcome.